I know this is gonna be a touch-based sensitive type of topic, but I'm only giving you my see. You know what I'm saying? My level of understanding of how I see it because of the mere fact that it's not just because of the lessons, but it's also because of the journey that we are all on as men and women that are in this to help us understand things better. All right. Now, what is it that I want to talk about? Well, first of all, there's two things that I want to talk about. One is building for a common cause, and the other one is calling yourself Allah. I only put the name of the video up, calling yourself Allah, is because clickbait, but it's more algorithm and all that other stuff. So But anyways, I want to build on first building for a common cause. Now, I'm gonna say this personally. I don't give a fuck how long you had the knowledge. I don't care if you had this shit when Allah first birthed it. That is a beautiful thing. But what needs to happen is that knowledge that you possess in your dome needs to come to the forefront, which is the physical display and the expression through word of mouth. That the stories of this nation, for those of you that uphold this nation dear to your heart and your mind, then you need to be the ones that was around, have the knowledge, and still got the knowledge, and still around to be able to give it to other people that are deserving and qualify themselves for it. Now, I'm not saying that you need to just immediately just give up all the shit that you know to everybody, to the world, because you know what? Everything ain't for everybody. And I understand how people feel when, there's certain gods that got certain knowledge and you don't got it. Well, you got to realize something, right? And this is from what I learned. And this is from what I learned from other brothers. And I'm going to keep it like that. I'm going to keep it simple. Allah didn't teach everybody the same. He did not teach everybody the same. He didn't give everybody the same lessons. You know why? Because there was a strategy to what he was doing. Now, I wasn't around when he was around. You know what I'm saying? He was born in 1928. I was born in 1984. That is a big ass 56-year difference. So, just saying. What I'm saying is this. If we all have an objective, right, to learn this history in a way where it can help our lives, meaning your personal life, your subjective life to maybe your family, your friends, your babies. If the story of Allah can help you save your life and bring you to a point in your life where you're now elevating and seeing the growth and development and change into what he said, not only what he said, but what he did, then what's going to end up happening is it's going to reflect in your ways and actions as a man or as a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we're too busy caught up in the hype of who got more knowledge than this person. This person been around. Knowledge God is around. Yeah, of course he's around. He's still speaking. He's still talking. Otherwise, when he stopped talking, that's when y'all should start worrying. Because at the end of the day, he done exhausted his history archive to give it to you guys from another person. Now, I'm saying this. I don't knock nobody on how you get your knowledge. How you get your knowledge is how you get it. Whether it be relative, whether it be concrete, whether it be abstract, whether it be reality based. You feel what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm saying that is because, I see on Facebook a lot of brothers going back and forth telling each other sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. You don't know nothing, little boy, and shit like that. How are we a nation of righteous men and women, God and earth? And these are highly responsible, supreme titles that we give ourselves because we hold ourselves in a high level of admiration and respect for ourselves because we know ourselves. How are we going to change the narrative of this world if we are still dealing with the issues in our nation? That's not building for a common cause. Now, reason why I'm bringing this up is because of this. When you look at the build destroy degree, before you even get to the build destroy degree, let's just look at the supreme mathematics of it. The build or destroy. We making choices to either destroy the shit that you building on or build on the shit that you adding on to And all the other shit that you had, you could just get rid of that shit because that's not relevant. That's not relevant to what you need to learn and what you need to know in regards to this culture. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't care whether or not, like I said, I noticed that some brothers and some sisters get intimidated because this brother got an extensive amount of knowledge and this woman got an extensive amount of history and shit. And sometimes you could be painstakingly nervous for a person and shy if a person's not ready to receive that type of history. But you have to be willing and able to want to learn that history because this is the history of yourself. We're just showing you that a man birthed a nation and brought forth what? A lost 5%. Now, for those of you who are on the outside looking in, calling him Clarence 13X, that's cool. One thing for sure and two things for certain is knowledge is to respect. And that's it. That's in my supreme mathematics. That is the first law of our supreme mathematics. Knowledge. Knowledge is to know and is the foundation of all things in existence. It is to look, listen, observe, and also to respect. Knowledge is symbolic to the black man. Not the black man. Knowledge is symbolic. So, what I'm saying is this, it would be fucked up and ignorant for me to say, fuck your Jesus. You feel what I'm saying? It would be ignorant and uncommon for me to say, fuck your religion. Because I don't deal with religion. I'm not religious. However, that would be an ignorant statement to make. Because everybody has something to offer you, whether they be religious or righteous. It doesn't really matter. But what does matter is when you're explaining your way of life to somebody and somebody discrediting your way of life or disrespecting your way of life. And what I mean by disrespect is if I told you that the man's name is Allah and you call him Clarence 13X, that means that you have a low level of respect for that man. Because I don't care what you say. If we're all building for a common cause, and this is how I'm gonna bring it to the forefront as reality. Let's just say, for instance, I'm walking down the street, right? And I happen to meet a stranger. And this stranger told me to call him Money Miz, right? But his real name is Lamar Jacobson, right? I'm not gonna call the nigga LJ, and I know the nigga told me to call him Money Miz. That shows the level of respect that you have for somebody. I ain't calling that nigga that. It's a simple fact that when people come up to you and ask you what's your name, people come up to me all the time and ask me what's my name. And I clearly give them my name. Lord Supreme Wise Mind Allah. Oh, who gave you that name? Your mom or your... I don't think that's really pertinent or relevant to what we're talking about. However, I will give you the answer. I named myself. Why? Because I found myself. You know what I'm saying? I can give you many different ways to answer the question. However, I don't choose to answer the question in an ignorant manner or state of mind because of the mere fact that there's people that just don't know. When they just don't know, you can't fault them for not knowing. What you have to do is just teach them along the way when they're walking and talking next to you or they want to learn something. Because other than that, you are violating and trespassing a man's conscious thoughts. You're trespassing on how a man feels. And you're literally violating a man's rights for him to think on his own. So that's the first thing I want to build on, in the common cause. Because, listen, we all on Facebook. We all on Twitter. We all on Instagram. We all on these social media platforms. However, what I want to emphasize is this. Let's not make these social media platforms for disrespect, because we're still human at the end of the day. No matter if you're behind a computer or you're behind a phone. Respect still goes a long way. And at the end of the day, if we are building for a common cause for us to all bring forth together the history the right way to any and everybody that's wanting and willing to learn this, then that's what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? This is why that's why brothers go to a law school in Mecca to learn more about the history and understand their position and duty and responsibility as a man or a woman in this culture and how they can contribute to the cause. You feel what I'm saying? So the next thing I wanted to talk about was calling yourself Allah. Okay, I know a lot of brothers in this nation don't approve of that shit. And that's fine. However, when we go to them lessons, what does the lesson say? You feel what I mean? Man is God. Yeah, true indeed. Man is God of his own universe and his own ciphers, his own damn self. I can listen. There is a level of ignorance in life that people stand on or stay at. It's not a place where it's very welcoming. You feel what I'm saying? It's for you to be like, hey, I'm this. And for you to be like, no the fuck you ain't. Who are you to tell me who I am? You see what I'm saying? It's like, when I hear older brothers that's in my culture, they be like, oh, now you want to call yourself Allah. My brother, I'm not even arguing with you about that. Calling myself Allah, what do you mean when you say that term? What do you mean when you ask that question or you state that question? Are you talking about Allah himself? Because I'm damn sure not the Allah himself, because I'm way younger than that motherfucker. And that is the man that saved my life. So why wouldn't I want to take up after my father? That man fathered my education. Yes, he fathered or furthered my education. He fathered me into learning more about myself, because you got to be more of the father and less of the son. Further educate and people will shine more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at it like this. You know, I know this is a long-winded video, but I don't really care about that. But what I want to say is this. When we get into them lessons, right, we can take it literal, we can take it symbolic, we can take it allegorical, we can take it analogical. Whatever way you want to put it is the way that we can bring it to the forefront as making it reality. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, cool. Let's dig into the first lesson, part of self. Let's dig into the first lesson of the student enrollment, all right? Now, the first lesson of the student enrollment says, who is the original man? Right? And the student enrollment, this is the 1 to 10. All right? This is the first lesson you receive after you get your supreme alphabet. No, parts of your supreme math, and then your supreme alphabet. First, you fast for 3 days, then you get your supreme math, supreme alphabet, then you get your first lesson once you cap those things on dome. So now, right, when we're dealing with who is the original man, the answer says it clearly. So why would I want to change my mind about who I am? It says the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, and God of the universe, right? Now, let's go to another lesson in the 1 to 40. Let's go to the first lesson. It says, who wrote the Holy Quran or Bible? How long ago? When you tell us why does Islam renew its history every 25,000 years? It says, the Holy Quran or Bible was made by the original man. Now let's go back to the first degree. It says, who is the original man? It says the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, God of the universe. Now, when we're dealing with the knowledge degree in the 1 to 40 or in the meat lessons, it says, who made the Holy Quran or Bible? How long ago? And will you tell us why does Islam renew its history every 25,000 years? It says, the Holy Quran or Bible was made by the original man, who is Allah. Supreme being, black men of Asia. The Holy Quran, or see, now, when we get into debates like that, he's like, but that don't mean you, Allah. Okay, so a brother's gonna get in trouble because he has the name of Allah in his name. Yo, you know what? I've noticed that brings a lot of fear. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, you Allah now? What? No, my name is Lord Supreme. How are you doing? Let's not ask dumb questions like that. Because if you want to be sarcastic and be smart about it, I could say, yes, I am. Because I am him and he is me. And as much as he did, I can do. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm going to say this. My last name Allah? Yes, of course it is. Did I change it? Yes, it did. For what purposes? For righteous and righteous and divine purposes. There's not no purpose on purpose. Every purpose that I do have a purpose and a meaning behind it, because at the end of the day, it adds substance to my life. And it shows and proves what I represent and who I really am in essence. In this life that we live in. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, like I said, man. You know what I mean? Everybody you sit here, this is a touchy situation because, you know what I'm saying, people be like, yeah, you want to call yourself Allah, but only Allah can call himself that because Allah can't die. You know, a lot of times when, you know, you say, okay, peace, they still want to beat you in the head with the, yo, you know, Allah was the only true and living. Like, the original man is God and owner of the planet Earth. It says the original man is God. But a lot of people don't step into their position as God because they don't want to take on the greatness that's on display. The greatest origin defined. Now, it's just crazy because, like, yo, you'll get around a brother that had this knowledge for like 20-some years, right? And then he'll get around a brother and he'll be like, oh, peace, God. Oh, peace, Allah. And they'll be sitting here talking about something, oh, you can't call yourself Allah, but yet be calling each other Allah. What? Listen, man, make it make sense. Wisdom, understanding today. When you speak with clarity. You mean to tell me that the person that Allah's 5% nation, his 5%ers, his young boys that turn from men to gods, has no right calling himself Allah? If he gave us the power to be who he is. Matter of fact, not even be who he is, be ourselves and take on the role of who we are. A lot of times, a lot of people don't take on that role because they don't know what that role would consist of or entails. So that's why they sometimes decline on their position and their role and duty and responsibility as a man or woman, because they feel that in some cases it's not going to help me if I get into this position. It's going to only make things worse, which is an honest thing to do, because sometimes everybody's position is not ready to be fulfilled yet until you are ready to qualify yourself to fulfill it. Now, with that being said, am I going to continue to call myself Allah? Yes, I am. Because Allah means what? The God. And I am the God. So it does not even matter. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Another misnomer or another misconstrued message. A lot of brothers, right, when they say the term Allah, they say God. He said Allah means God. No, this does not. Allah means the God. Because when you look at Allah, right? Al in Arabic, when you look at any surah or any fire, you see Al means the. Allah means God. So Allah means the God. It's not Allah means God. No, it doesn't. Allah means the God. So when you look at the understanding build a short degree, it says to show and prove that Allah is God, always has been and always will be. Allah is the God. That is the supreme mind manifested in the physical form of what you see as the original man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want to dig that history out because it's scary to read and it's scary to understand, because then you got to display that shit to people in the world, and now you got to be the responsible one to tell it like it is. And some people don't want to tell it like it. They want to tell it how they think they see it. And that's not the way it goes. But like I said, I'm going to add on to this a little later. You know what I'm saying? Because I got some things I got to take care of right now. But I'll be with y'all soon. And I'm going to add on to this too. Real talk. So for those of you guys that have questions or concerns about anything, feel free to hit me up, all right? You can hit me in my inbox. I'll reply as soon as possible. Or you can hit me on Facebook, Scientific Intelligence. Or you can hit me on Instagram, Scientific Intelligence, or Lord Supreme 72. Peace, Allah, 5% Nation. Salute, soldiers and warriors.